Birds are beautiful creatures. You could even say they're majestic. But one aspect that's rarely discussed is how incredibly diverse they are. Some are so extraordinarily unique that there's truly no other bird like them. These are the most unique birds in the world. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now let's get started. Number 1. The long-wattled umbrella bird. The name of this bird really is the cherry on top. And as you might guess, it comes from the fact that they resemble umbrellas. Also known as the buffoon bird, the long-wattled umbrella bird is a species of cotinga that, like its relative the Andean cock of the rock, uses leks to find a mate. Males gather at these leks to show off their magnificent crest feathers, which drape over their heads down to the beak, resembling a pompadour styled by the most extravagant hairdressers. During their elaborate courtship display, a large, bizarre wattle hangs from the male's chest like a necktie, which he inflates to reveal short, glossy feathers that stand upright, just like an umbrella. Umbrella birds trumpet their calls like they're blowing a horn, incredibly loud and unmistakably heartfelt love songs. The long-wattled umbrella bird can be found in the Chaco region of western Colombia and Ecuador, along the Andean slopes, connected to tropical mountain forests and lowland rainforests that open up to the Pacific Ocean. Number 2. The golden pheasant. The golden pheasant is a small game bird native to the forests of western China, though naturalized populations can be found across the globe. It is also known as the Chinese pheasant and rainbow pheasant. Weighing about 0.6 kilograms with a wingspan of approximately 70 centimeters, the adult male measures between 89 and 104 centimeters, with its tail accounting for more than half of its total length. It features a golden crown and back, along with other vivid colors like red, mahogany, blue, purple, yellow, and black, making it a truly vibrant and striking bird. The female is smaller, measuring about 61 to 79 centimeters, and has less ornate feathers in black and brown, along with a shorter tail. Both males and females have yellow feet and beaks. Like chickens, golden pheasants can fly short distances but spend most of their time on the ground, running to where they need to go as they forage for seeds, grains, leaves, fruits, and insects. Humans are their main predators, but they also fall prey to foxes and wild cats. If given the chance, large rats and other birds will also feast on golden pheasant eggs. Number 3. The Inca tern. The Inca tern can be found along the western coast of South America, from Ecuador to Peru. In Chile, it is found only in areas influenced by the Humboldt Current. This bird nests on sandy beaches and steep cliffs, as well as on coastal guano islands and offshore islands near rocky shores. The Inca tern is a social diurnal species that lives and breeds in vast colonies of thousands of individuals, often near gull colonies. When feeding, Inca terns often mix with whales and sea lions, stealing food from these marine creatures. They feed by plunge diving from great heights after briefly flying over their prey, or by surface dipping, swimming or floating and picking food from the surface. They aren't great swimmers, as their webbed feet aren't particularly large, so they tend to stay close to their coastal habitats. However, non-breeding birds may migrate depending on food availability. Number 4. The helmeted hornbill. The helmeted hornbill is a large bird that belongs to the toucan family and calls the Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, and Borneo its home. Unlike many frugivorous toucans, it's a sedentary bird, with pairs maintaining a fixed territory. Males actually fight over territory, striking each other with their bills, so they're lazy and aggressive. It's starting to seem like these birds are truly charming, except for their dark bellies and legs and their tails, which are white with a black band near the tip. The helmeted hornbill has mostly dark plumage, and its tail can be quite long, with the 2 central tail feathers being much longer than the rest, reaching up to 1 meter in length. This gives the bird a maximum total length of 160 centimeters, making it the longest of all hornbills. Females have a blue throat patch, while males sport a red one. The large casque that grows on the upper mandible of the beak extends from the base of the beak to about halfway toward the tip, where it ends abruptly. Both the casque and the beak are yellow. A red secretion from preen glands coats the sides and top of the casque, as well as the base of the beak, although the front tip of the casque and the distal half of the beak usually remain bright yellow. Number 5. The King of Saxony. We've already had a bird with magnificent in its name, and now we've got one with a royal title. What's next? A bird called Emperor of the Skies? Jokes aside, the king of Saxony is one of the most spectacular birds you'll ever encounter in the wild. It belongs to the bird of paradise family and is the sole member of its genus, which makes it even more special, or lonely, depending on how you look at it. This incredible bird lives exclusively in the montane forests of New Guinea, at elevations between 1,600 and 2,850 meters. There, it stands out not only because of its majestic name, but especially for its exotic appearance. Locals in Papua New Guinea and Western New Guinea refer to the bird as cassowary, an attempt to mimic the loud, explosive call that the male makes during mating season. It's a cry that echoes through the treetops, impossible to ignore. The adult male king of Saxony measures about 22 centimeters in body length, but what really catches the eye are his two astonishing enamel blue eyebrow plumes that extend a whopping 50 centimeters, more than twice the length of his body. These iridescent antennas can be raised and moved at will, as if the bird had full control over two magical ribbons sprouting from its head. They're used in elaborate and visually stunning courtship displays to impress females. The rest of the male's body is just as striking. He has dark brown irises, a black beak with a bluish-green base, light gray legs, and black plumage with metallic reflections. The female, on the other hand, is much more modest in appearance, with a grayish-brown coloration and light streaks on her underside, providing her with excellent camouflage. In terms of diet, these birds primarily eat fruits, berries, and arthropods, making them important seed dispersers in their ecosystem. They spend much of their time in the high branches, either showing off their dazzling ornaments or foraging for food. The king of Saxony is a true natural spectacle, a perfect blend of elegance, eccentricity, and raw wild beauty. If there were a red carpet for birds, this guy would definitely top the list of best dressed in the animal kingdom. Number 6. The Sri Lanka frogmouth. Get ready to meet one of the most peculiar birds of the tropical forests, the Sri Lanka frogmouth. With a name that sounds like it came straight out of a magical fairy tale, this small nocturnal bird measures around 22 centimeters in length and is found in the western Ghats of southern India and, of course, in Sri Lanka itself. These birds are sexually dimorphic, meaning males and females have different plumage. Males display a light grayish-brown tone with a speckled crown and fine streaks, while females have a warmer appearance with rich chestnut tones. This difference makes it easier to identify their sex in the field, especially when they're perched and camouflaged in the vegetation. The name frogmouth comes from their wide, flattened beak, curved in the middle, which closely resembles a frog's mouth. That, combined with their forward-facing eyes and slit-like nostrils, gives the bird an almost amphibian look. Tiny bristles around their eyes help protect them and filter out particles while hunting at night. These birds live in dense tropical rainforests, evergreen forests, and even bamboo thickets. During the day, they sleep perfectly camouflaged among tree branches, often staying motionless for hours to avoid detection. At night, however, they become active, silently hunting a variety of insects, like moths, beetles, and other small arthropods, which make up the bulk of their diet. When it's time to breed, the frogmouth pair works as a team. They build nests using moss, feathers, lichens, and bits of bark to create a safe and cozy home. Interestingly, they lay only one egg at a time. And the sweetest part? Both parents take turns incubating the egg, a true display of parental partnership in the animal world. Additionally, these birds rarely vocalize, adding to their mysterious nature. They are discreet, silent, and extremely well camouflaged, making them difficult to spot in the wild. But for dedicated birdwatchers, finding a frogmouth is like discovering a hidden treasure deep within the forest. Number 7. The exotic three-wattled bellbird. Those little worm-like things hanging off the beak? Yep, they're real. And they're part of the bizarre appearance of male three-wattled bellbirds. Those strange features, three long, thin, blackish-gray wattles, dangle from the base of the male's beak, giving them a unique, almost alien look. Females, on the other hand, are much more discreet and lack these flashy accessories altogether. Still, both sexes share a few traits, like a large black beak and a robust body shape. The female is a true camouflage expert. Her olive-green head is streaked with fine yellow lines, accented by a small golden eye-ring and a vibrant yellow underside with broad, darker olive-green bands. Altogether, she becomes practically invisible among the dense leaves of the rainforest canopy. The male, well, subtlety is not his thing. He sports a dazzling white head, neck, and chest, paired with a solid reddish-brown body. Great for grabbing attention, terrible for hiding. These birds are found in a range stretching from eastern Honduras to western Panama, mainly occupying mid to high elevations in tropical forests, typically between 900 and over 3,000 meters. Outside the breeding season, they often descend to lower altitudes, exploring denser forests in search of food. But their real claim to fame? Their call. It's not exactly melodious. In fact, many would call it downright annoying, but it's incredibly effective. Males sing from the treetops, and their call is so loud it can be heard from up to half a kilometer away. It might not win any talent shows, but it definitely gets the attention of the ladies. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters to him. Number 8. The mysterious hooded pito. We've all heard of venomous snakes, sneaky scorpions, and even those dangerously colorful frogs. But what about a poisonous bird? Yes, you heard that right. Deep in the dense forests of New Guinea lives one of the most surprising creatures in the animal kingdom, the hooded pito, one of the very few known poisonous birds on Earth. And get this, it was actually the first toxic bird to be formally documented in scientific literature. At first glance, the pito looks harmless, about the size of a pigeon with a sleek black head and a body cloaked in vibrant orange-red feathers. Averaging around 23 centimeters in length, it's classified as a passerine, a songbird no less. It belongs to the corvid family, alongside crows and jays, which already hints at a certain level of intelligence. With dark, sharp claws and a strong black beak, the pito looks well prepared for anything. But what truly sets it apart is the presence of poison, primarily in its skin and feathers, a rare evolutionary trait in birds. This toxin, called batrachotoxin, is the same deadly compound found in certain poisonous frogs from South America. Interestingly, the bird doesn't produce it itself. It absorbs the toxin through its diet, especially by consuming a specific beetle known as choricine, native to New Guinea. The bird's bright colors, combined with a distinct odor, serve as a clear warning to would-be predators. Back off! This visual defense strategy is known as aposematic coloration. Found exclusively in the tropical forests of New Guinea, the hooded pito is omnivorous, feasting on everything from sweet fruits to tasty and dangerous insects. So, if you ever find yourself wandering through New Guinea and spot a cheerful orange and black bird singing away, enjoy the view, but admire from a distance. Nature, after all, is full of surprises, and some of them can leave a serious sting. Number 9. The extravagant of the rocks. No, we're not talking about an 80s rock festival with distorted guitars and wild hair. We're talking about one of the most striking birds in all of South America's wildlife, the incredible Andean cock of the rock, also known as of the rocks. And yes, that name does sound like a glam metal band, but it's actually the nickname of one of the most flamboyant and original birds on this list. With its absolutely distinctive look and quirky behavior, the Andean cock of the rock is impossible to ignore. Beyond its flashy appearance, it has a mating display that feels like a full-on performance. The males grunt like pigs and hop about enthusiastically to catch the attention of females. These displays happen at dawn, in small clearings within the cloud forests along the Andean slopes, usually at mid-level elevations. It's as if they have their own secret stages nestled among the trees. When not showing off, they can be found deeper in the forest, especially around fruit-bearing trees, which make up the bulk of their diet. The male is a burst of color, with vivid orange or red feathers, black wings with large silvery plumes, and a rounded crest that looks more like a carnival helmet than a hairstyle. Females also have reddish tones but are less flashy, a trait that helps them blend in while nesting, typically in rock crevices or steep cliff faces. Even among tropical birds, this species stands out for both its looks and behavior. And while it shares some similarities with other frugivorous Andean birds, the cock of the rock is truly one of a kind, a living gem of the South American forests that continues to amaze birdwatchers around the globe. Number 10. The enigmatic standard-winged nightjar. That name almost sounds like a mysterious new DC Comics hero. Standard-winged nightjar, the long-lost brother of Nightwing. But instead of being a cape-wearing crime fighter, this bird prefers to stay hidden, camouflaging itself in the African savanna. Standing about 20 to 23 centimeters tall, the standard-winged nightjar might not seem like much at first glance, but its call, a vibrating trill, definitely stands out on African nights. Its plumage comes in shades of gray and brown, providing excellent camouflage among the dry leaves and twigs where it lives. Unlike other nightjars, this species lacks the usual white spots on the wings or tail, giving it a more subdued appearance, almost like it's always dressed in spy gear. But here's where the glamour kicks in. During mating season, the males grow a special feather. The 9th primary feather on each wing transforms into a long ribbon that can reach up to 38 centimeters. That's nearly twice the bird's body length. It's like they wear a decorative cape to impress the females, who keenly watch as the males parade these feathers in low, swooping flights. After the season ends, the charm fades, literally, as those feathers fall off or break, and both males and females end up looking nearly identical again. These birds inhabit dry savannas stretching from Senegal to Ethiopia, covering countries like Gambia, Liberia, Cameroon, South Sudan, and Uganda. Though widely distributed, they are most commonly spotted along the Liberian coast and in western Cameroon, especially during dry seasons when they're more active. The standard-winged nightjar is a true master of stealth and a surprising example of how even the most discreet birds can have their moments to shine. Number 12. The incredible sand grouse. SpongeBob SquarePants, more like the miraculous feathers of the sand grouse. This extraordinary bird has such a unique ability that it almost seems like magic. It can transport water to its chicks using only its feathers. Yes, you heard that right. The sand grouse, especially the male, can fly up to 20 kilometers at dawn through the cold, dry desert air in search of tiny water sources. And here's the most impressive part. When he finds water, he doesn't just drink it. He actually plunges into it up to his belly and begins a curious collection ritual, rocking his body side to side and vigorously ruffling his belly feathers. This intentional soaking process can take up to 15 minutes, and by the end of it, the male returns to the nest carrying around 25 milliliters of water, just over 2 tablespoons, carefully stored between his specially adapted feathers. These belly feathers have unique structures, like tiny spring-shaped filaments that act as natural sponges, keeping the water secure during his flight back. When he returns, his thirsty chicks gather around him and, using gentle pecks, draw the water directly from the father's feathers, like little spatulas trying to scrape every precious drop. This exchange seems like something out of a fairy tale, but it happens daily in the arid regions where they live, such as the Sahara Desert. It's a fantastic example of how nature always finds ingenious ways to adapt, and also a beautiful display of active, caring fatherhood in the animal kingdom. Not bad for a bird living in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth, right? Number 13. The extraordinary, magnificent frigate birds. Now stop and think. Can you imagine being so impressive that scientists decided to include the word magnificent right in your species name? How incredible would a bird have to be to deserve such an honor? Well, the magnificent frigate birds definitely live up to the title. These large seabirds have a unique appearance, marked by their extremely long, angular wings that seem purpose-built to slice through the wind with precision. Their deeply forked tails usually remain closed, forming a sharp and elegant tip that aids in maneuverability during flight. Their beaks are long and strong, ending in a pronounced curve, perfect for grabbing prey on the move. Visually, the magnificent frigate bird is predominantly black, though some parts of the body, like the head, chest, and belly, show white patches, especially on the females. In fact, females are easily identified by their white chests contrasted against black heads, while the chicks have both white heads and bellies, making them even more distinct. As they grow, the young birds' heads gradually darken, while a light beige stripe appears on their upper wings, much like the adults. But the real spectacle happens when the males are ready to mate. During this time, they display a stunning red inflatable throat pouch, which stands out boldly against their black plumage. This vibrant pouch is inflated like a balloon during mating rituals to attract females. And no, they don't store anything inside it, though it sure looks like a biological backpack, doesn't it? Despite being oceanic birds, frigate birds don't dive for fish. Instead, they use a daring technique, gliding just above the water's surface to snatch prey, or, in an even more clever or brazen move, chasing other birds until they regurgitate their food. This practice is known as kleptoparasitism. So, in addition to being magnificent, they're also true pirates of the sky. Number 15. The charming ribbon-tailed estrapia, an incredibly fitting name for a bird that boasts one of the most fabulous tails in the entire animal kingdom. It really does look like a delicate little ribbon fluttering in the wind, doesn't it? The ribbon-tailed estrapia is an extraordinary bird found in the dense forests of the central highlands of Papua New Guinea, which also serve as the main breeding grounds for this exotic species. This stunning bird of paradise stands out thanks to its long, thin, ribbon-like tail, which far exceeds the length of its own body. The bird measures about 32 centimeters in total, with most of that length made up by its incredibly elegant tail. Adult males display an iridescent plumage with shades of olive green and bronze that shimmer in the sunlight like living jewels. When perched, their long tails can curve upward and rest behind their heads, creating a truly striking look. Interestingly, younger males between 15 and 20 years old don't yet show the signature white tail feathers, making them visually distinct from older individuals. Females, on the other hand, have brown plumage on the head and body with subtle iridescent tones, often causing them to be mistaken for nightingales. Much like the nightingale, the male estrapia is polygamous, mating with several females during the breeding season. The name estrapia was chosen in honor of renowned New Guinea naturalist and explorer Fred Shaw Mayer. It's believed that he discovered the bird in 1938, giving it the scientific name ribbon-tailed bird of paradise. Unfortunately, the ribbon-tailed estrapia is currently classified as a vulnerable species, primarily due to habitat destruction and excessive hunting driven by the value of its ornamental feathers. Today, this magnificent bird is officially considered extinct in the wild, surviving only through records, memories, and conservation studies. Number 16. The extravagant spiderbuild toucan. This one is, without a doubt, one of the most recognizable and famous birds on this list. The exotic spiderbuild toucan. And why does it draw so much attention? Well, just take a look at its beak. It's absolutely massive. Spiderbuild toucans are widely known for their impressively oversized bills, which give them a quirky and slightly awkward appearance at first glance. The beak is so large that it can be nearly twice the length of the bird's body, creating a truly unique and unmistakable look. The lower part of its body features vibrant coloring with bright yellow cheeks and throat, vivid red feathers under the tail, and a face blending yellow with pale green tones. Despite looking heavy, the beak is surprisingly light as it's made of keratin and supported by a hollow bone structure, a fascinating adaptation of nature. However, the real challenge for the toucan isn't the weight of its beak, but its wings. Even with hollow bones that help reduce overall weight, it can still struggle to sustain long flights due to the proportions of its body relative to its wing size. These birds live in tropical and subtropical forests, stretching from southern Mexico through Venezuela and into Colombia, where they find shelter among the dense canopy. Another fun fact, the spiderbuild toucan is a crepuscular bird, which means it's most active during dawn and dusk, the magical hours of the day. And let's be honest, with that flashy style and nighttime routine, you could definitely say this bird is a true party animal, always ready for the wildest, most energetic dance parties deep in the heart of the jungle. Long live the toucan rhythm. Number 17. The peculiar kakapo. And since we're talking about curious smells, it's worth highlighting another incredibly unique bird, the kakapo. This adorable parrot is nocturnal, large in size and, curiously, unable to fly, which is quite unusual for parrots. Despite its inability to fly, it has complex and highly specific reproductive habits, as well as a distinct personality. The kakapo has a cute, rounded face that closely resembles that of an owl, which only adds to its charm. It's native to New Zealand and part of the delicate ecosystem of the Caatinga forests, where its presence is both rare and precious. Adults have vibrant dark green feathers with yellow and black markings, while chicks display a lighter coloration, with yellowish tones being more dominant. All of this makes them small, enchanting parrots, true natural treasures. During mating season, males emit a deep, resonant call, similar to a drumming sound, that echoes through the forests to attract females to their display sites. In addition, both males and females produce high-pitched, distinct cries that form a unique nighttime symphony. While there are other birds with similar appearances, the kakapo's nocturnal habits and inability to fly make it unmistakable to those familiar with its behavior. Since reproduction occurs only in carefully managed areas, the chance of confusing it with other species is extremely low. Unfortunately, the kakapo is considered a critically endangered species and is currently the focus of several highly specialized conservation projects. Before humans arrived in New Zealand, its forests were filled with native bird species. However, the introduction of predators, habitat destruction, and excessive hunting caused a drastic decline in local biodiversity. reducing the number of bird species to around 50 by the mid-1990s. With that in mind, maybe it's time for us to change our approach. Why not protect the extraordinary kakapo instead of hunting it? Number 18. The exotic potens. All I can say right now is, wow! This next bird looks like it came straight out of a forgotten era, something worthy of a setting where dinosaurs and cavemen coexisted. The name of this incredibly colorful and visually striking bird, you may be wondering. Well, we're talking about the amazing hudzin. The hudzin is a relatively small bird, but with an absolutely striking appearance, featuring feathers in vibrant shades of turquoise and orange that give it a truly prehistoric aesthetic. These flashy birds are part of the neotropical species and are native to the vast Amazon basin, living mainly along the edges of slow-moving rivers and quiet lakes in the region. Due to their unique appearance, the loud screeching calls they make, and the fact that they live in large social groups, it's no surprise that these birds are often spotted, which unfortunately also makes them easy targets for predators. Here's a completely crazy fact about the hudzin. It has something surprisingly in common with cows. Yes, as strange as it sounds, the hudzin digests food through bacterial fermentation, just like cows, goats, and sheep. It's the only known bird in the world that has stomach compartments located deep in the abdomen, rather than throughout the rest of the digestive tract, precisely because its diet consists almost entirely of leaves. These ingested leaves go straight into the crop, where the bacterial fermentation process begins, making its digestion quite unusual for a bird. However, this odd trait comes with a nasty downside. The bacteria involved in the fermentation can give off a truly awful smell. Because of that, the hudzin also has a less than flattering nickname, the infamous stink bird, due to the strong, unpleasant odor associated with it. Number 19. The extravagant tufted puffin. Puffins in general are incredibly peculiar and truly unique birds. Even the name itself grabs attention. These small, distinct-looking seabirds have a stocky, compact body covered in black feathers, along with a disproportionately large head compared to their body. Adult individuals are mostly black, with the exception of a striking white face and a long golden plume that elegantly curls around the back of the head and neck, creating a flamboyant appearance. Their beak is large, with a vibrant reddish-orange to yellow-orange hue, especially at the base, forming a prominent plate that stands out clearly. The tufted puffin can be found in regions of the North Pacific, where it inhabits open seas, remote islands, and hard-to-reach coastal cliffs. During the breeding season, this species develops an even larger head compared to other puffins, making it easily recognizable by its intense white facial mask and bright golden feathers, which become even more noticeable during mating time. Interestingly, the tufted puffin possesses an impressive skill. It can catch and hold several small fish at once in its beak, sometimes carrying anywhere from 5 to 20 fish at a time to feed its hungry chicks waiting in the nest. Meanwhile, adults consume their own food while still underwater, showing great agility and efficiency in the water. The first documented specimen of the tufted puffin was discovered in Alaska and, surprisingly, was at least 6 years old, making it the oldest puffin ever recorded at the time. Still, that age seems pretty modest. Honestly, I imagine these quirky birds could live much longer. Poor, charming puffers. Number 20. The enigmatic potwo bird. The potwo bird is, without a doubt, one of the strangest, most mysterious, and most unique creatures in the entire animal kingdom. That is, if you're lucky enough to spot one. Its feathers, along with its entire body structure, are incredibly well adapted to blend perfectly into the natural environment. These birds, known as potwos, come in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and patterns, making them true masters of disguise. Being strictly nocturnal creatures, active only at night and resting during the day, their plumage, similar to that of other nocturnal birds, acts as a powerful camouflage. This allows them to resemble a dry branch, a broken trunk, or even the bark of a tree itself. The common potwo emits a whistle composed of a melancholic series of notes that gradually descend in pitch, while the great potwo lets out a deep guttural sound accompanied by shrill, eerie screams. Many travelers and adventurers have been caught off guard by these bizarre sounds, which have inspired countless folk legends involving ghosts and supernatural apparitions. It is said that the song of the common potwo represents the lonely wail of a soul in love, crying out for a lost romance, the beautiful and unreachable moon goddess. Additionally, potwos have incredibly wide mouths paired with short, inconspicuous beaks. At night, these large jaws become essential tools for catching moths, beetles, and a wide variety of other flying insects. Unlike many birds, potwos lay only a single egg, and instead of building an elaborate nest, they place it directly in a tree crevice or on a broken branch, where it remains camouflaged and well protected. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Don't forget to check out other interesting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time!